Yeah, what's going on, everyone? I'd like to welcome you out to episode number 42 of the Art of Reinvention podcast show. And I'm your host, TeflonJohn, where my goal is to change the world one person at a time by provoking thought. In today's episode, we're just going to talk about branding. We're just going to get right into it. We're going to talk about branding, And as I look down at my show notes and I'm saying, be the brand. That's the title. Episode number 42, be the brand. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in right now. I want to thank you guys for taking out the time of your busy lives and your busy days to actually stop by and be with me. And so going to that, I just want to encourage you guys to visit my website, www.iamteflonjohn.com. Catch up on all other podcast episodes. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, a lot of great feedback. So like I said, I just want to encourage you guys to keep doing that. So when we're talking about being the brand, right, a lot of people are going to confuse this and just link it to just, people on Instagram or Facebook trying to build something or trying to make something out of themselves, trying to make something out of their lives, right? But I'm talking about in general, be the brand, right? So we all are brands, whether you realize it or not. We all are brands, right? A brand is something that is synonymous with, what you see, whether it be colors, whether it be the look, whether it be the sound. You all are brands. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a bad brand, whether it's a good brand, we all are brands. And I want you to know that you have to recognize first what your brand is, right? You have to recognize what your brand is. And what I mean by that is know what your brand represents. So let's say, for example, if you are someone who pushes positivity, who wants to make, impact in the world by being positive, then you have to recognize that because you don't have, you can't really afford going around throwing out negative vibes. You can't afford going around putting people down. So if your brand and what you represent is positivity and lifting up in the building of people, then like I said, you can't afford to be negative and rip people down. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people, that they're not brand aware. So they don't really understand what their brand represents, and they do something and then it comes off not authentic to the general public because they know, okay, this is what you're trying to push, but this is what I see you doing. You know what I mean? It's like, if your brand is uplifting women, but yet you're, calling them bees and, and being disrespectful towards them, that's contrary of your brand. And you see it a lot in the world of politics, you know what I'm saying, where someone represents this or someone represents that. And along the way doing that campaign, something comes out, right? And so the next step I want to talk about is know what your brand's beliefs are. Know what you believe in, know what you stand for, and that's how you're going to build a good personal brand. So I don't care if you're a pastor, I don't care if you're a supervisor, manager on a regular job, or I don't care if you are building a brand for Instagram. Knowing what your brand believes in will control your content. You know what I mean? And the content of life, if you're just a regular everyday person and you're that good guy or you're that good woman that everybody looks up to or some kids look up to, or whether you're a coach, knowing what you believe in is going to be crucial in your decision making. Because when you know what you believe in and you know what your brand stands for, you're not going to just say yes to everything. When I started this Art of Reinvention brand and the I Am TeflonJohn brand and Bulletproof Workouts, some people approach me with stuff that's contrary to my brand. Now, will it be beneficial monetary wise? Yeah. But I remember my pastor Nicole Bonds told me that it's going to be times in my life where I'm going to have to say I respectfully decline, because some people will see how powerful your brand is, or some people will see how powerful the potential of your brand, and they'll try to use your brand to push their personal agendas. And that's why it's very important, like I said, to know what your brand believes in. It's very important because you won't find yourself swaying, you won't find yourself doing things and then you don't feel in your heart that there was a great decision made by you. And what I want to talk about next is just know what your brand looks like. You know what I mean? From if you're on social media, know what the colors are, know what the theme is, know what you're trying to put out there, know the quality of your brand. And if you're on social media, one of the biggest things about branding is what it appears to be to other people. So if you're going to put up pictures, you want to put up nice pictures, with your best pictures that your phone can get, or if you're paying a professional photographer, and keep that brand of pictures, keep that brand and that look consistent throughout your feed. If it's on Facebook, and like I said, it can just be regular everyday life branding. realize that everything you put out represents your brand. So if you're putting out, pictures of your family and they're seeing that you're the family guy, and all of a sudden, now you're sharing back shots of women, or you're sharing, half dressed people, or, a lot of memes with cursing in it. Do realize that the world that we live in today is advanced in technology. And when you apply for jobs, sometimes they'll check your Facebook profile page or your LinkedIn profile page before they call you back. So you can present and be this professional brand at the job interview all you want to, but they'll see who you really are. A lot of times you go to people's Facebook profile pages, it can be very crazy of what they're sharing, what they're putting out, contrary to what you know for them to believe in and stand for. Because like I said, you can look at it and be like, wow, like this person is supposed to be positive, or this person is supposed to be, a great parent, and they're sharing this crazy stuff, So always know what that looks like. And even in fashion, if your brand has a certain look, know what that is. Know what the certain style is that you want people to see. Know what the certain style is that you want to get out there. And you don't have to be like everyone else. So when you're branding and you're thinking about your style as a person, as a supervisor, as a boss, as a pastor, be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can find a template, something that you can see, and something that looks good, and kind of make that a template, and then still create your own, And in life, know what your life looks like for branding. And like I said, it doesn't always have to be someone building their brand for social media or online. It could be just basic everyday life. And a lot of people are looking for something real. And in the social media realm, we always talk about followers. How many followers do I have? In actuality, we don't have any leaders in real life to follow. If you look at the presidency now, and it's a lot of controversy going on with whether or not he's a great leader. If you look at jobs now, it's a lot of controversies of, is there good leadership out here? If you look in the schools, are there good teachers? Are there good coaches? Are there any more good parents left in the world? And part of the problem is there's so many people looking for someone to follow. But the big question is, will they find them? So when in life, you got to have that brand, you got to have that good branding look, because no one wants to follow something that's not authentic, right? The next topic I want to talk about is know how your actions affect your brand. And what I mean by that is some people are not brand aware. Like you can be, linking up or, collaborating with a different brand or different person, right? And let's say if you are someone that's of a spiritual background, if you're someone, that represents, like I said, positivity, good morale, conscience, decisions, it's conflicting to your brand to be partnering up with people that don't represent what you represent. Now, I'm not saying that you always have to work with people that have the same beliefs and have the same mindset as you. But what I'm saying is, like, you would never see like Disney, as far as their brand is for kids. Disney's not going to be hooked or linked to anyone who's in controversy or in question of anything regarding kids, whether it be abuse, molestation, because it's contrary to their brand. So think when you're collaborating with people, and sometimes you have to think about the long run. Yes, collaborating with this one person or doing something with this person may be awesome and may be great for the short term, but how will it affect your brand down the road? Because a lot of speaking engagements and things like that, you got to realize that people realize what your brand is, what your brand represents, what your brand believes in, and they identify with that. And if they find it as contrary, now you represent them also. If they pay you to speak, if they want you to come and talk, you know what I mean? So always be brand aware of what you're doing and who you're being connected with. Now, your decisions, your personal decisions can affect your brand as well. Like you can't be, if you're going to try to build a brand and you're going to become, someone that's going to be in the public eye, then a lot of times that's just the choice that you have to make, because you can't do what everyone else do. You really can't afford that. So if you're trying to build a brand, if you're really trying to, build a persona where you can go out here and speak, you really don't want to be out here wilding out. You really don't want to be out here, or people catching you on camera doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and putting yourself in a controversial light to where now you're losing money on speaking engagements and events due to your actions. You see it all the times with a lot of celebrities. They lose endorsements because they're making decisions and their actions are contrary to what their brand is and what their brand is really representing. And so the next one, I think I already touched on this, but I'm gonna just dive into it a little bit more. Be brand aware, or it won't be authentic to people. And in 2018, man, like you see a lot on social media where a lot of people are taking pictures in front of other people's cars. They're putting other people's clothes on, taking pictures, and so many people try to be what they're not. You know what I mean? It's like me being a motivational speaker, or me being a podcaster. When you meet me in person, if it's not matching up with what you hear now, then I'm fake. It's not authentic. I'm phony, and it comes off very, very weird to people. It's almost like I'm putting on some type of mask or some type of costume when I say TeflonJohn. So your brand should be synonymous with who you are, because I'm telling you, once people find that it's not authentic, they will stop following you. A lot of people, they will stop following you because they feel like that you're trying to be something that you're not, and you're not keeping it real per se. And you see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? You really see that a lot, whether it be, for example, if you're in a job, someone gets promoted and they have to change who they are for their new position. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't come off and respect that. They may respect, they have to make certain decisions to respect the new position. But as far as changing who they are, because people know who you are. A wise man once told me, if you hide behind a curtain long enough, people are going to see your head or either your feet. One or two are going to show. And, what I like to say to that is, that a lot of people are really, especially kids, it's a lot of pressure out here that social media is pushing to look a certain way, be a certain way, talk a certain way. And if that's not the way you get down, like for me to be on this podcast or, be doing motivational videos or for that matter, anything, and trying to be over articulate, use a lot of big words, and that's just not who I am. That's not authentic, not only to people, but that's not authentic to me. So think about how that comes off to everyone else. So I just want you guys to continue to think about that. And the last step that I'm going to talk about, the last point I want to make, is invest in your brand. Invest in your brand. You know what I mean? Like now, this is episode number 42, and I'm thinking about expanding, my podcast and what I call my voice content. I'm thinking about expanding that, and me and my sister-in-law are going to start our own little radio show podcast where we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but it cost me to invest in it, purchase another mic, purchase more hosting space. So if you're going to build a true brand, like I said, think about what your brand looks like. You may have to invest in clothes. You may have to invest in someone to help you to learn how to write, and don't be afraid to improve. When it comes to investing in your brand, if you want to invest in something or someone that's going to actually help you improve, hey, go for it. But do realize that you're going to have to go in your pockets and spend money in order to reach that next level. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's the quality of your podcast, your videos. I don't care if it's getting people to know that you even exist. You got to spend money in marketing. A lot of people can't follow what they don't know even is around. And that was the thing that I had to realize. Like, you got to go in your pocket and spend money and advertise on these social media platforms, because if you're not on social media, you really don't exist. And that's just for any brand, church, business, you know what I mean? Like personal, like what you're looking for a job on LinkedIn. You have to get on these social media platforms. You got to learn how to use them, and you got to learn how to make them work for you, because a lot of people refuse to change. If you don't change, right, and the world is continuing to change and evolve, then you will be left behind, and you can see it in business, and you can see it on jobs where, somebody comes in, that's been on the job for a year, and they surpass somebody that's been there 20 to 25 years. So that's something you want to think about. And like I said, as I end this podcast, I know this one wasn't long, but I wanted to get short and to the point. Be the brand, know who you are, and be brand aware. I'm going to put the show notes down. I'm going to, just give you a brief synopsis of what we talked about. But look, I appreciate it if you guys would support my 2 radio shows. If you download the Radio 434 app, that's radio with the numbers 434 spelled as one word. It's on iOS and Android. Download the Radio 434 app and click on the Tony Cam Radio Show. I have 2 new shows. One is motivational called Teflon Talks. The other one is about health and fitness. It's called The Bulletproof Minute. I'd appreciate if you go over there, show me some love, and support those shows, and I'll keep more content coming. Like I said, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Bulletproof Workout, spelled with a Z. All one word on Instagram. You can follow me at I am TeflonJohn, spelled John, on Instagram. Post in the comments if it's something else that you would like for me to talk about. If it's something that you're going through that you like for me to shed light, please comment on this. And I'm going to just take you guys out with that you are the brand and you must be brand aware. And as I always say, one love. Be blessed. We would like to thank you for listening to this episode of The Art of Reinvention by TeflonJohn. And we encourage you to share this episode across all your social media platforms. And we also encourage you to visit our website at www.imteflonjohn.com and follow us on all our social media platforms at facebook.com/realteflonjohn, twitter.com/realteflonjohn, and instagram.com/realteflonjohn. And while you're on Facebook, go ahead and like our page so you can receive first-hand notifications every time we go live with the motivational video or any motivational content. And as I always say, one love, be blessed.